Hello, everyone, and welcome to one more episode of the ESL for You podcast, the podcast that helps you improve your English skills while learning about interesting topics. I'm Faby, your host and teacher, and today we're going to talk about economy. So you will be learning a lot of vocabulary. So remember that if you don't understand every word I say, don't worry. You can go to my website, which is linked in the description of this podcast, so that you can read along. You can read the transcript. If the transcript is not posted yet, it's because I'm still working on it. Thanks for your patience. So let's get started. What is economy anyway? Well, economy is a study of how people produce, distribute, and consume goods and services. So, goods are the things that you can touch or see, such as food, clothes, or cars. And services are things that you can't touch or see, but that someone does for you, such as teaching, cleaning, or repairing. Economy is important because it affects our lives in many ways. For example, it influences our income, our prices, our jobs, our environment, and our well-being. There are different types of economies in the world. One type is market economy. In a market economy, people decide what to produce, how to produce it, and who to sell it to. There is little or no government intervention. The prices are determined by the supply and demand. Supply is how much of something is available, and demand is how much of something people want. So when supply is high and demand is low, prices go down. And when supply is low and demand is high, prices go up. An example of market economy is the United States. Another type is command economy. In a command economy, the government decides what to produce, how to produce it, and who to sell it to. There's a lot of government intervention. The prices are set by the government, and, an example of a command economy is North Korea. A third type is mixed economy. In a mixed economy, there's a combination of market and command economies. Some goods and services are produced by the private sector or people or businesses, while others are produced by the public sector or the government. There is some government intervention in the market. The prices are influenced by both supply and demand and government policies. An example of a mixed economy is Canada. Okay. A fourth type is traditional economy. In a traditional economy, people produce what they need to survive based on their customs and traditions. There is little or no use of money or technology. The prices are based on bartering or exchanging goods or services without money. An example of a traditional economy is some indigenous communities. So now, let's talk about some key concepts and terms related to economy. One concept is inflation and deflation. Inflation is when the prices of goods and services increase over time. Deflation is when the prices of goods and services decrease over time. Inflation and deflation affect the value of money. When there's inflation, money loses its value because you can buy less with it. When there's deflation, money gains value because you can buy more with it. So one term is GDP and GNP. GDP stands for Gross Domestic Product. It is the total value of all the goods and services produced within a country in a year. And GNP stands for Gross National Product. It is the total value of all the goods and services produced by a country's citizens in a year. Regardless of where they live, GDP and GNP measure the size and performance of an economy. Another term is trade and tariffs. Trade is when people or countries exchange goods or services with each other. Tariffs are taxes that governments charge on imported or exported goods or services. So trade and tariffs affect the balance of payments between countries. When a country exports more than it imports or sells more than it buys, it has a trade surplus or a positive balance. When a country imports more than it exports, buys more than it sells, it has a trade deficit or a negative balance. Another term to know is fiscal and monetary policy. So a fiscal policy is when the government uses its spending and taxation to influence the economy. For example, when the government spends more money on public works or lowers taxes for people or businesses, it stimulates or boosts the economy by increasing demand. When the government spends less money on public works or raises taxes for people or businesses, it restrains or slows down the economy by decreasing demand. So monetary policy is when the central bank, or the bank that controls the money supply, uses its interest rates and money creation to influence the economy. For example, when the central bank lowers interest rates or increases money supply, makes more money available, it stimulates or boosts the economy by making borrowing cheaper and encouraging spending and investment. But when the central bank decides to raise the interest rates or decreases money supply, makes money less available, it restrains or slows down the economy by making borrowing more expensive and discouraging spending and investment. So now it's time for you to practice your new vocabulary and comprehension by answering some questions based on what you have learned today. So, question 1. What type of economy has little or no government intervention? Market economy, command economy, mixed economy, or traditional economy? Okay, you can leave the answer in the comments below, or you can go to my website and see the answer there in the transcript. I will just leave the answer there for you to see. Okay, the next question is, what concept describes when prices increase over time? Inflation, deflation, GDP, or GNP? Again, you can go to my website and find out if you were right. And the next question is, what term stands for gross domestic production? Gross domestic product. GDP or GNP, trade, or tariff? Okay, the answer will also be in the transcription in my website. So, question 4, what term means taxes on imported or exported goods or services? Trade, tariff, fiscal policy, monetary policy? All right, answer below. Okay, what policy uses interest rates and money creation to influence the economy? Fiscal policy, monetary policy, trade policy, or tariff policy? Okay, I hope you got them all right. If you are not sure about your answers, go ahead and again, click on my website on the link. It is actually linked in the description of the podcast. So you will see the answers right there. So I hope you enjoyed learning about this topic and improving your English skills. And to learn more about economy, you can always watch videos or take online courses on the subject. I love a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki and Fake, but that kind of describes or talks about the American economy. So thank you for listening, and don't forget to tune in for the next episode of the ESL podcast. ESL for you. See you next time.